What's going on, guys? It's actually been a long time. Every time I try to make a video for you guys, something always happens. I'm caught somewhere with copyright music. The conversation grabs my attention. Uh, Things that I don't even intend to happen. But that's life. What can we do about it? That's why you see, I'm actually here in my apartment. You can see my half built hammock in the back. We got to live a relaxing lifestyle. But I did. There's a topic I've been meaning to touch, and I couldn't do it alone. I had to bring my best buddy. You want to meet? You want to meet my best buddy? Here we go. Surfside Vodka. I like to play golf. I would say I like to try to play golf because I'm not the best at it. Sometimes you kind of beat yourself up. But this is my best friend, and it's here for me, for you, for this episode. I actually got a list, of course. But let me crack this open. I need to take some sips. So I got to get into it, get into the groove, and just relax. Feeling much better now. Much better. I've been out and about, but here I am. Are you ready for this? I don't even know if I'm ready for this. This is part 3 of our yapping session, but it's a yapping full of wisdom session. It's not just yapping. I'm giving you the keys to the game. In episode 3, you don't miss them, you miss who you were. You don't miss them, you miss who you were. Most people think they miss a person. I get it. We got emotions. Our heart craves for that other person. But what if that missing that person really isn't what you think it is? Do you feel that you need another person to still be here, still be breathing, still be alive, still tuning in and watching this clip right now? The problem is most people tie their identity to the other person. I can't be good looking if that person leaves me. I can't be smart because that person still left me. So what am I? What if I'm enough, but because of that situation, I don't feel it? What if missing someone wasn't actually the person? What if it was just missing that feeling you had when you were with that person? Think about it. What if it's just missing that feeling that you had with that person? What if it's all an identity thing, an ego thing? And by all means, I'm no psychologist, I'm no therapist. I'm a 24-year-old guy giving what I observe, giving my experiences, giving all that out to you. But I want to redefine what missing means, okay? I believe missing means the emotional memory of yourself, not that person. So whenever you're in a situation where you feel less than, when you're in a situation that you feel that you need a person, what exactly are you missing? What exactly are you missing? What qualities? Kind of take your current situation, take the situation at face value for what it is. What was the differences? Okay, we can ache all day or we can self reflect. And it's not anyone's fault. We grew up with familiarity, we grew up with similar routines. And when you're in that, I don't want to say codependency, that's the wrong word. I'm just flowing. I think I might need a little sip of my surf side to keep going. But codependency is the wrong word. I want to say more routine. When you're in a routine with the other person and you're seeing them on the daily, That's what builds that attachment. That's what builds that familiarity. I'm so used to Sally doing this. I'm so used to Jessica doing that. Whoever it is, I don't discriminate. Some people have, like I always said, some people have multiple, some people have singles. I'm just there naming names. Please, if you watch this video, do not take that against me. I'm just naming names that come to the top of mind. Don't read into it. Okay? Promise you will not read into that. But that familiarity builds the identity. It's I'm the leader of the house, or I'm the follower of the house, or I'm going to do whatever my queen says. Or it's no, Mabrisa, you're just dumb and you're a piece of shit. Whatever it is, you build that identity. Repetitiveness builds that sense of self. So, what you really become tied to is not exactly that person. What you become tied to is not the person. What you become tied to is the routines, the emotions, and the lifestyle. You get so used to living a particular way. Now, that could be a good thing. Okay, that could be a good thing because some people really do value stability. But when that stability is taken away, now it's, oh my gosh, where did my princess go? Where did my king go? What do I do now? And change is a part of life. That person is a container of all those emotions, the container of that self that you felt, but they're not the source. Okay? I know we get used to the good morning text, how are you, baby? I miss you, baby girl. And vice versa. Then I feel chosen. I'm like, this person really values me. It's nice to have someone in your corner, but it could also be yourself. You don't need that external validation. It could also be yourself because then you can show up as whole. We talk about on the podcast 2 100s. What if all that's missing is that self analysis? I guess me to my next point, the identity creation. Because, like, to kind of tag along by what we were saying before, identity creation, there's roles that you step into, okay? We got the one wearing the pins in the house, and we got the one who's running around the house trying to escape the other person, okay? That's just how dynamics are. That's, I want to say, and like I said, don't quote me on this, but I want to say most relationships are like that. You got the one that's the priority, you got the other one serving the other person. Okay, in my house, if I'm dealing with someone, I would like to be the king. Just putting that out there. Of course, I'm gonna try to treat you like a princess on the side, but I'm gonna be the king, of course. But there are certain things when you're feeling chosen, when you have someone there, when you have someone in your corner backing you up, you tend to be more confident, more decisive, and you don't overthink as much. It's that power of love is what I would call it. The power of love, because everybody wants to feel love. We've all grown up on those Disney movies of everybody wants love and everybody's capable of love. There's all that fairy tale. Now, we live, as of this time, it is 2026. And that point I'm making can be debatable, okay? The point I'm making, it can be debatable, but everybody wants to believe that there is love because love is such a beautiful and magical thing. At least that's what we were taught as kids. Identity withdrawal. Relationships don't just give you that love that I'm talking about. They give you the identity. They give you that purpose, the purpose that I matter, the purpose that I fit in to this thing that we call a relationship, a marriage, whatever it is that you have. That's identity, but that can transcend much beyond that. It could be with your friends. It could be in your side relationships. It could be in the workplace. It can be everywhere. That's your identity. Your identity, you could show up as one person at work and show up a different person at home. That is so common. People are killers, killers right at work. And they get home and they get on their knees and say, "Yes, queen. Yes, king. What can I do for you today?" But breakups, because that's what we're tying back down to. I know I mentioned the other things, but we're really going after relationships. But breakups can feel like losing yourself, not just the other person. Because what happens when you have such a stable routine, no matter how long, 3 months, a year, 2 years, 10 years, now it's, well, shit, what do I do now that I don't have you here, baby? And it's hard. It's hard. It feels like an empty void. It feels as if you have to reconstruct yourself, hoping that the other person comes back to ground you, especially with the emotional stuff. You know, your emotional feedback, that validation that you felt for your emotions, even if you didn't feel it, just having that person's presence while they made fun of you felt like enough. And you just break apart. You break apart. Some people have the path of, let me go find someone new. Let me go and take my mind off of this and avoid my feelings. Other people self reflect and they realize, man, yes, it sucks right now. And yes, it may suck next week. But will it always suck? Will it always suck? And then they find when they do the self reflection, when they rebuild themselves, they realize, yes, I may be lost in the moment. And yes, I may be sad, but I can recreate that person that I was when I was in that relationship. I can do it on my own, where then I can show up and now I'll be whole for the next relationship. Okay. Because I know at 24, could be, I mean, any age is a valuable age to change, but it can get hard. But I don't want you to hold a grudge against yourself. Like, let that go. Let it go. Okay. Just analyze. That's, if anyone's watching this video, I want you to do that exercise. I know I do the AI wingman stuff, and I haven't been able to post out that content frequently because, of course, my best friend Sora was taken down, but it's okay because we adjust. Okay. There's no sense in living in the past when there's a big future to build. But then that brings the question like, wait, Mauricio, what if that woman is the love of my life? And that's a good question because everybody feels that, especially with first loves. Everyone's like, oh, that's the person that I want. That's the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. She doesn't understand today. Maybe she will understand tomorrow. But there's a difference between familiarity and actual compatibility. Familiarity is staying in something that you know you shouldn't stay in, but because it's familiar to you. And that goes back to the routine, that goes back to the emotional feedback. Actual compatibility is, okay, I'm whole, you're whole, but I enjoy my time with you. I want to spend my time with you. I look forward to seeing you. I don't resent coming back home and seeing you and helping you with whatever you need help with, striving to become a better version of myself, striving, helping you start to become a better version of yourself. And we're doing it together. We're in this together. We're ride or dies. Okay. So sometimes people go back thinking, wait, I miss those routines. Let me go do it with that person. There's so many other people. There's so many other people that can actually be compatible with you, but you'll go back because it's familiar, not knowing what that person even did, not knowing that that person may have lost feelings for you. Does that make any sense? And then you get to the point where there's emotional memory and then there's reality. The emotional memory, oh, our happy moments. I can't think of anything sad. Let me go back. The reality is, you two may have not been a perfect fit. So why when you know this, you want to go back to the comfortable, you want to go back to the old version, you want to go back to that feeling you once had instead of looking forward. This is where all the growth is. This is where you find the better partners. This is where you climb the ladder, whether you're a man or whether you're a woman. Think about that sincerely. People are just going back to access a feeling. They're not going back to the person. That's why people, they'll say, oh, you don't understand, Mauricio. It just felt different with them. You don't understand, Mauricio. We have all these good memories. You don't understand, Mauricio. I'm going to walk back to all the red flags. Oh, I understand. I'm just telling you there's another path. And the truth, most people are just avoiding it. Most people don't want to grow, and that's okay. I'm making this video, these clips, no matter how you see this, I'm making this video to kind of challenge your mind a little bit. I'm not the end all be all. I'm not the creator of relationships. I'm not even the perfect relationship expert. What I am is an observer, someone who's also experienced the challenges of today's world. Everyone's lost now. Everyone's trying to figure out, okay, how do I navigate today's world? Not even the people that are older than us, that are older than me, I should say, because I don't know how old you are when you're watching this video, that are older than me, even have the blueprint. We're in a whole new age. We're in the social media age, we're in the AI age, and we're all in this together, trying to figure this out, trying to pivot off each other, trying to figure out what has our dating world come to today. And that's why I say what most people are avoiding is that growth in themselves because relationships change. And you need to be able to self analyze and realize that you were always the source. You're always the source of all this power. And I'm not going spiritual. I feel like this is sounding like a spiritual channel now, but you are always the source of those feelings. You just never recognize it. You just kind of outsource it to another person. You outsource your whole identity to another person. You outsource your whole identity to your work. You outsource your whole identity to your friends. Who are you when you're alone? I'm doing this alone. There's nobody in my apartment. I'm here by myself, but I'm talking to you. I'm talking to no matter how much one viewer or a million viewers, I'm talking to you guys because I want you to think about that. Of course, a relationship triggers something in you. Of course, a relationship makes you feel a certain type of way, but what do you feel when the cameras are off, when the people aren't there, when you're all alone and it's just you and your head? That's a challenge for you. Write it down. See what you come up with. Sometimes, and I'll admit this, I started yoga. Sometimes the thoughts that you avoid, the biggest opportunities of growth come from having no one else's opinions flow through your mind, having no one else dictate what your identity should be because you know what you should be. Why does it matter what I say, what that person says? That shit does not matter. Okay. It's okay. You can bring it all back in. I know it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable subject for a lot of people. A lot of people do not like that feeling of being alone. A lot of people want to have the other person around them. I get it. Okay. That's why I created the AI Wingman. The AI Wingman is supposed to be your best buddy. It's supposed to help you accomplish what you want, but it also gives you clarity so you can see things for what they really are. You don't want to walk through life blindly. Okay. If you had someone at the very top coaching you on what to do, would you turn down that advice? If you came across a multimillionaire that was ready to give you the knowledge and said, hey, you got this tool, use it, you would refuse it? That's what I'm saying. This is what this channel is for. This is what also the partner channel is for. The smoke something, drink something. Lately, it's been on TikTok. If you don't have your, if you don't have me on TikTok, it's the AI operators. But you can also follow the real cigar Jeff, Ron Deasy too. She's going viral these days. But you can follow all of us because we go into this. It's real people having real conversations because what you can't have is no one challenging what you believe. How are you going to grow otherwise? If I told you everything that you do is right, or is opportunity for growth. Same with me. You can go and put some hate comments in here. You could put some supportive comments, or you could put some mind thinking comments. It's all a part of the process. But like we said, solitude. Solitude is a tool that you must use. Okay. When you're thinking of the other person, you're thinking about the emotions, you're thinking about the routines, but you can build yourself into whatever you want to be. Solitude gives you that way of processing. Solitude gives you that way of growing and expanding what you are. When you become whole, and this is, I sound like very spiritual, but when you become whole, the external stuff doesn't matter. What your ex says doesn't matter. What your friends say don't matter. What your enemies think doesn't matter. Because you know what you are. You know how you feel. You know how to navigate that space rather than just avoid it. I can go get this girl. I can go get this. It doesn't matter because we want to become better. That's all what we're trying to do is become better. I'm not a personal coach either, but this is just me ranting on my mind of things that I see, things that I hear, and I just want you to know that it's okay to lose someone. You can access that version without them being present. You can be all that and more. You see, the real loss wasn't them, it was you. So, my question to you is, and actually, let's plug in my channels real quick before I say that. But okay, we're going to keep the suspense. We're going to plug that in before I say my last question. If you haven't already, hit the like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever platform it is. It probably goes to all platforms. This full video will be on YouTube for all of you to explore and challenge your thinking. Also got the AI Wingman link in the bio. Go over there, $1 trial. Let's get some change today because why not? I want to see you grow. I want me to grow. I want all of us to grow because this is a community. There's real people having real conversations. And now for the final question, because I held you long enough, but don't lie, I know you enjoyed your stay. The question for you, and I want you to ask yourself this, like I'm going to ask myself, why did I lose myself in the first place?